Hey everybody, it's Julie. Welcome to Hello Monday. Today I am making an anniversary card for the Mister because next Monday he and I will be celebrating 30 years together. Yay! And I thought it would be fun to do a rebus style card. So I gathered up some elements that I thought would be fun to put together for this. And a rebus is a pictorial representation of the words that you're trying to say. And I've got some Potty People wood veneers, and I have this chipboard number 8 because I needed a particular shape and size of an 8 that I didn't have in a die and I didn't have it in a stamp. So I noticed I had these chipboard letters that I hadn't used, and I thought, well, I might as well use it. I don't know what else I'd use that number 8 for. So I'm going to alter it because I want it to be gold, and I'm just going to put some Versamark on the surface. So I just tapped it against my Versamark pad, and then I'm going to put some gold embossing powder over it and heat it up. Now, as I did my layout, I kind of like, this is not working. A lot of times I tap my finger against my project as I'm thinking about, how can I make this, better or change it because I'm not happy with it. So I decided to go with a horizontal layout. So I completely redid the stamps and arranged them there, and then I took a picture with my phone so that I could remember how I wanted to lay all these images out. So I'm just going to go ahead and get this clear stamps mounted to some acrylic blocks, and I like to have all the clear stamps I'm working with pre-mounted to acrylic blocks. So I have lots of acrylic blocks, and because I don't like having to swap things out in the middle of a project. It's like, nope, every stamp's got to have its own block. So I'm going to take this really fun sun ray from Brighter Days by Avery Elle and ink that up with the Hero Arts soft granite ink. And I've also got an arrow from a great set by Technique Tuesday. And I can't remember offhand, but it's down in the description so you can see what set I used. But I love the fact that it had 3 different arrow shapes in this set that I could use and kind of layer them over each other. So I'm using Delicata and soft granite by Hero Arts and some VersaFine black, onyx black, and that is the By the Numbers set from Avery Elle that I use the number 2 from. And then I've got my little Potty People and the little red heart. Now I actually embossed the Potty People with gold embossing powder too, the exact same way I did the chipboard 8, so that I could have, a little bit more consistency in the elements that I was putting onto the card front. So there you can see that I've embossed them. And then I took a little ampersand from a set called Inline Numbers by, no, it's from Many Thanks. Yes, it's from Many Thanks by Mama Elephant. I originally had the inline alphabet ampersand, and then I swapped it out for this little ampersand with a circle and then punched it out with a 1/2 inch circle. And now that I've got all the elements stamped, I'm going to go ahead and trim this panel, and I'm going to split it a little bit and put it onto a black base card. But first I want to add a little bit more gold, some hints of gold in there. So I'm going to take some of the Chickanitty gold paper, and I love this foil paper. It's just such a pretty finishing touch on this really mod card. And I just needed to put a strip down here onto the base card, and I wanted to fill the gap between the 2 pieces that I had trimmed down there in white. So I'm going to go ahead and mount that first. I just used my stamp runner there to put some adhesive on the back, and I'm just going to use those pieces there as a guide so I can determine where to position that piece of gold foil cardstock, and then I'll flip it over and trim off the excess, and then I can go ahead and 3D mount the other 2 pieces over the top with some foam mounting tape. So we'll get those positioned on the back there of those pieces, and I'm just going to start with the bottom and get it mounted on there really quickly, and then I can figure out where to position the top one. So I just kind of wanted to fill that gap a little bit, and I could have left those pieces all the way, but I just thought it was kind of just a little bit of a different layout to go ahead and trim that piece down but leave the gold foil peeking out on each side there. So I've got a little channel there in between. So we'll get that mounted on there, and then I can go ahead and start layering the embellishments. And I'm going to take the little chipboard 8 that I embossed with gold powder and put some stamp runner on the back of that. Go ahead and mount that way. Now here's the secret behind the number 8. I had no idea when I started this until I was reading about it or looking at these images on Pinterest, but that figure 8 there that's kind of equal on each side represents infinity. It's the infinity symbol. So I was like, so cool, but I don't have an infinity stamp. So I had to kind of, improvise with what I had. And I mounted my my little potty people there with a little bit of mono multi in a matte finish there, so it'll hold them nice. And then I'm going to crease that with a bone folder. And then after I finished, I was like, it just kind of needs a little bit something more. So I'm going to take some Hero Arts Gold Shimmer Spray and just flick it very gently here because the card is finished. And I probably should have done this from the get-go before I even started doing any of the rest of it. It was kind of an afterthought, but I thought I could get away with it if I was just really careful and didn't get too heavy-handed there. And just a little bit of gold spatter there to fill a little bit of that white space. And I think it adds a really nice finish. And this is just really fun to look through your stamps and see what kind of images you can pull together. Now I have to say my husband is really good at math, and so he'll probably look at this and figure out what the message is right away. That's part of the fun of a rebus though, is deciphering it. So have you figured out what it says? Thanks for watching.